All righty then. I like that. Let's rock and roll.
All right.
Hello, everybody. One more time. We over here with my good friend Andy Gagliano from Gagliano Mortgage, and we're going to be talking a little bit about a different market, which is the luxury market over here in the Birmingham area. Hey, Andy, how you doing today?
Hey, Tony, I'm doing very well. How are you?
So far, so good. Having a great
Good.
time. By the way, by the time we're recording this, the World Series is happening, Baseball World Series, and some people know I'm a born Dodgers fan.
Dodgers. Yeah. I tell you, I gave up on baseball several years ago. I mean, like a lot of years ago. But that darn Dodgers team is incredible.
And
They are good.
they are amazing. Both teams are amazing. I'm surprised that New York is in the position that it is. They won last night. It was a great game. It was 11-4.
Yeah.
But still, the Dodgers are starting winning. They have this player, Aaron Judge. Everybody's had great hopes on him because what he's done the whole season for New York. But for the World Series, man, we haven't seen that guy done anything.
Yeah.
And then we got Freeman, Freddie Freeman, that everybody, at least a lot of people here in the Birmingham area, know him very well because they follow the Braves, Atlanta
That's
Braves,
right.
and they love him as well. And Freddie Freeman been having a rough year personally and with some injuries also. His son was diagnosed with some weird disease that, put him on risk to die. It's a little kid, it's under 10 years old, this kid. I think he's 4 or 6 years old. So he
Yeah.
was going through some personal stuff. And this guy is amazing. Since last year, was last year that the Braves went to the World Series? I think so.
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago. But
Yeah.
he is been hitting at least one home run every game in the World Series. So
Isn't that wild?
it's crazy. It's amazing. And I really hope he wins the MVP. I really hope so. He deserves it. And he's a great guy, an amazing human being, a great player. So hopefully they get it done. We're gonna play tonight, so we'll see what happens. I'm a Dodgers fan, so sorry everybody else. Not everybody can be perfect like the Dodgers. At
That's
least not in this season.
That's right.
Andy, something really funny. Well, not funny. Something that caught my attention this weekend was we had painted the town in red from Keller Williams offices, which means all the Keller Williams offices in the Birmingham area had open houses this weekend.
Okay.
And I was talking with some of the agents that did some of the open houses, and I was curious about the prices that they were doing the open houses, the range price. So I have a lady that she did an open house in a house that is in the $500,000 range. And she was telling me it was a success. She had at least 12 people showing up, showing interest, real people, real interest, not just people looking around or anything.
Nosy
like that.
neighbors. Yeah.
Exactly, nosy neighbors, which is a good thing sometimes because they see you working out there. And there was another agent on the same neighborhood or close by that had an open house in a property that is priced at $325,000. And she complained that she had nobody showing up. Then I asked another agent that had an open house on an $800,000 home, and she said it was a success as well. And she got, I think, like 8, 9 people. One of those people's, they're going to be selling their home in the next 2, 3 months. So she got a good referral out of that. She got a good, possible lead. Hopefully she work it out. But what is getting my attention is on the price range, the lower below 500 or below 400. I'm not getting that much movement. Like for us, what I believe here in Birmingham, Alabama, if a house is worth more than $500,000, it's a luxury home. Not like in California or New York,
Yeah. Which is a starter home out there.
It's a starter.
Or a fixer upper.
Or a fixer upper, exactly.
Yeah.
I got a friend of mine who just bought a home in Compton, and I think she said she paid somewhere around 629.
Wow.
Yeah, and in Compton, and one of those houses that next to each other. You know, when you're taking a shower and you take your hand off the by the window, you're touching your other neighbor. You know.
Uh-huh. You can wash your neighbor's back from your own shower.
Exactly, exactly. So that caught my attention. I got some numbers over here. As of October 26th in the Birmingham area, there is 116 active listings where the price range is 500,000 to 599,999. 116 active listings. The only one that is more than that is the ones from 125 to 150, which is 250 active listings. But they're taking longer. The 125, 149, they take in the average days on the market is 110 days.
Mhm.
The ones that $500,000 to 600,000, the average day on the market is 67 days. So they're selling faster.
Yeah.
And another that caught my attention as well is the ones from $1,500,000. There is 16 active listings, and the average day on the market that they stay active is 22 days.
Mhm.
So, from the mortgage perspective, what what can be the difference? What are you seeing any difference on the applications? Uh, have you heard anything? Are these people with this type of houses with the luxury market? Are they getting a better rates, better products for them, or is just the same overall? Uh, what can you tell us about it from the mortgage point of view?
Yeah. So, I love this topic because it involves a lot of speculation.
Yes.
So it's hard to be wrong when you're just speculating, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So here are my thoughts. I've got a couple of different thoughts here. Let's start with the lower priced homes. And I'm going to say, and please correct me if you think I'm wrong when I say this, because I'm not the real estate expert. You are. And so whatever you tell me, I'm going to go with. But to me, I think that that new starter home price range in Birmingham is anywhere from 0 to 350,000.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I'm seeing. Whereas before COVID, it was 200 to 250. It was pretty easy. You could narrow it down and say, well, that's a starter home.
Yeah.
But now we're, looking really at 350 kind of being the upper end of that starter home range. And the first time home buyers are very, very interest rate sensitive.
Yeah.
More so than your people who have 800, a million, $10 million in the bank. Because I'm going to say a word that's a cuss word here, but a lot of those buyers are cash buyers.
Yes.
And the word cash is a cuss word for us people in the mortgage industry.
Yeah, that is your garlic for the vampires.
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's your kryptonite.
Yes, it is our kryptonite. And so your cash buyers are much, much less rate sensitive because they're not getting a mortgage. Most of them, they're not going to get one today. They're not going to get one in 2 years or 5 years. So if they're paying cash, then mortgage rates don't matter. And most of those cash buyers are buying more expensive homes. Now, there's one other thing one other factor that I think plays into all of this. A lot of first-time home buyers don't have to buy right now. They're in apartments, they're in rental homes, they're living with their parents. They do not have to make a move into the real estate market today. Whereas a lot of your buyers who are in that 500,000 and up range, they have to buy a home. Not necessarily that they want to buy a home, but they have to buy a home because They are moving to Birmingham because of a job transfer. They're moving to Birmingham to be closer to grandparents for their kids' grandparents. They are moving because they need the extra room. Whatever the reason is, most of them is a need and not a want.
Not a want. Yeah, correct.
And a lot of your first-time home buyers, it's a want. Whereas, Tony, you and I would look at them and say, no, you need to buy. You really need to buy. Because at some point, and I'm going to say this, and this is one time in my life that I really hope that I'm wrong. But at some point, I feel like a lot of first-time home buyers are going to be priced out of real estate forever if they don't get in. And that would be very sad. It would be terrible.
It will be.
Yeah, and not just for them, but for our economy as well. And so you and I look at those first-time buyers and say, forget about the interest rates. You need to buy now. And so, but they don't see it that way. And I have a hard time saying that I blame them, because you look at what homes cost, you look at where rates are going over the last month, look at a lot of the speculation is that they're going to continue to rise even after the election. And I don't think that's wrong. I think they are going to continue to rise. I believe we could see rates another 1% higher than where they are today. And by this time next month.
And the prices are going up too. Prices are not coming down for what I'm seeing. Hopefully next week I get more numbers and better numbers to explain that. And you're right. Unfortunately, the average buyer, they don't understand how the numbers play. You buy now, even your interest rate is going to be 6.7. Let's just use that as an example. Don't take my word for it. It's just an example. 6.7, and you buy something in the 500. Let's use that number, 6.7. Next year, in 12 months, you might have 30%, even let's say 10% equity on your home. And the interest rate is probably going to be lower. We're going to be on the 5s. So it makes sense then that you're going to refinance, because your payment is going to be lower. If you gave a substantial down payment for the house and you gain a 10% appreciation on the home, you're going to lower that monthly payment substantially. But a lot of people don't get it. They so fix and so focus on the interest rate. And I remember, in August, when everybody was even, I kept my mouth. I tried to keep it cool with some agents that they jumped right away when the federal government, they decreased the interest rate, and everybody was, the interest rate came down, not the mortgage ones. Those came down a little bit, and if you see, I monitor that every day as well. I'm guessing you do the same. I'm sure you do the same, and we're still standing there. They're lower than a year ago, substantially, almost a point lower, or a little bit more than 1 point lower, but we haven't hit that 5 yet.
Yeah. The big variable is, what are rates going to do? And for the first-time buyers who are on the sideline, who are looking and saying, well, I'm going to wait until rates come down, when is that going to be?
Yeah.
Is it going to be in 3 months, or is it going to be in 5 years? So if it's going to be 5 years and you're waiting 3 years before you finally say, you know what, these rates aren't going down, I'm going to go ahead and buy, well, you just lost a lot of equity.
A lot of equity, a lot. And not only that, I've seen it because I've been looking and working with a couple investors, and they gave me the price range they want to buy for the rentals. And I seen the properties. I seen the work done on some of those properties that whoever bought it, they bought it as a fixer upper and everything. And some people they expecting they don't want to pay a house that is $170,000, but they want a 300,000, a $500,000 work done on the property, and that is two different things. They don't want to pay the quality of the job, but they demanding the quality of the job, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So some people are missing that too, because starter homes, and they want granite countertops, they want this, they want that. Well, all that costs money. Construction prices went up too.
Yeah.
So it's a balance. To me, the important thing is right now the buyers need to get into the house. Period. If they can afford the payment, if they're gonna be fine financially, they need to get into the house. Talk to somebody like you, talk to somebody like me, and make a plan and monitor the interest rate from 6 to 12 months from now. So they can, get, which I believe, I truly believe, but I'm still a little bit skeptical about it. I truly believe we're probably going to hit the mid fives by summer next year on the interest rate. I might be
okay with that.
And that's good. I'll be happy about that. But then the interest rates come down, and the house that you wanted to buy that cost you $200,000 probably is going to be 220, 222, 225. So it's give and take. I'd rather be in the house today and wait for the interest rates to drop so I can get a better payment than wait for the interest rates to drop and get into the house. And probably my payment is not going to be that great.
Yeah. But is what you said. At some point, those rates are going to come lower, and it'll benefit you to refinance that loan. The thing is, for the buyers that get in now, depending on what your loan amount is, it could benefit you to refinance if rates drop by just 0.5% on the mortgage. And then if they drop another 0.5%, you can refinance again. And then if they drop another 0.5%, you can refinance again. And so, yes, there's a cost in refinancing, but talk to your mortgage loan officer, because there's some tricks and tactics that we can use in the mortgage industry to reduce your closing costs.
Yeah.
And if we can reduce them to zero, but you are able to drop your interest rate by 0.5% in the process, you're not saving $300 a month. But if it saved you $150 a month on your mortgage payment, and it cost you no dollars, either out of pocket or out of your equity in the home to do it, why wouldn't you do it?
Exactly. And on the long run, you're saving tons and tons of money.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you're planning to stay in your home no less than 7 years. It makes sense. 7 to 10 years, it makes sense. You're going to live in the house for that long period of time, then just get into the house now. Because I'm going to tell you something, rents are not getting cheaper.
No.
They're being increasing.
Yeah, they're definitely going up. And, and that's the other thing. I think a lot of first-time buyers, at least what I see, and you probably see the same thing, is they look at a home and they say, well, I don't want to buy that house because, it's not the perfect house for me. Well, get in a house. If you can't afford that $400,000 house and you can only afford one that's $300,000, buy the $300,000 house, make sure it's in a good neighborhood that's going to have a good resale potential to it.
Mm-hmm.
Stay in it for 2 years. You're going to build equity.
Yes.
Sell it and move to that $400,000 or $450,000 house at that point in time. You know, there's so many opportunities out there. And, you know, one thing that I've been talking to a lot of buyers about really for several years now, but I've really been harping on it very heavily since about the 1st of January of this year of 2024. And that is that we consumers have to get out of the mindset of looking at mortgage like it's a debt.
Yeah.
It truly is a debt, but it is a financial tool, just like your 401k, just like your IRA, just like your money market account at your bank. A mortgage is a financial tool, and there are so many ways to capitalize and use that mortgage to benefit you and grow your wealth over a period of time. And you just need to partner with the right teammates to make that happen for you. And that means the right realtor like Tony and the right mortgage person like me, and people who can just think outside of the box and come up with different ways to make things work.
Yeah.
So that it suits your budget today, but it also benefits you financially and grows your wealth over a period of time, even if it is just a couple of years before you sell that one and move up to the next one.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you know, not that you mentioned that also, you know, you cannot afford the $400,000 home, but you can afford the $300,000 home. That's probably what's going on also in this market. You know, somebody got into the first step of the ladder. They bought a $250,000, $300,000 home that now is worth it more. So they are able to sell it, get that equity, and move it into the home they want, which is probably bigger and, you know, $600,000, $700,000 home. You know, and I've seen a lot of families moving into the Birmingham area. In fact, I have 3 people that I spoke this week. One from California. Not getting into political stuff, but what he said is that he's fed up with California. He's done, and he like it over here. And I got one people from Connecticut and another people from West Virginia. They're looking to move over here. So a lot of those people that are coming from some other states, they are getting into because the equity they have built in their cities where they live right now, on their homes they have over there, they're allowed to use that money and move into $700,000, $800,000, $1 million home here in Birmingham.
Right.
And they still gonna have some more money to buy a couple other properties for investment. So
yeah,
that's a win-win for people like me, you know, because that's 3 properties that I can represent them.
That's right.
And like you say, some of them, 2 out of these 3, they are cash buyers.
Yeah.
So that is a good thing. That's your kryptonite, but it's good for me.
Yeah. I can dive into this why not to pay cash for a home topic, but not today.
Not today. We're gonna let that one.
We'll wrap it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna let that one go for now. Eventually, we're probably gonna do something about it. Well, Andy, any other comments you have about this?
I don't. All I would say is reach out to Tony, reach out to me, have a conversation. It's painless, and you know, if we can't help you right now, it is.
It is worth it. And on the long run, I mean, it's not just for one transaction. We're talking about creating a plan. What you want to do, where you're going, have that, you know, written down, and we can follow the step and help you along the way. It doesn't have to happen right now that you have to buy right now. If you can't, well, you know, you can't, but it doesn't mean that you never will. And creating a great plan, having professional like Andy and a good real estate agent like myself, I'm bragging today, will help you. Definitely will help a lot. So Andy, people need to get a hold of you. How can they contact you?
Yes, I can be reached at 205-979-4412. I'm at extension 1. How about you, Tony?
All right. I can be reached out 205-370-3248. And give us a call, send us a text. make some comments and let us know how Andy and I can help you guys. So, Andy, as always, been good to see you.
Good to see you too, Tony.
We'll see you next week.
Sounds great. Have a great week.
You too. Take care.
Bye.